Okay, so instead of writing out everything about the astrology thing that I did the other day, I figured I'd just talk about it for a few minutes. So, I went to the Cosmic Keys website. It's a podcast on astrology and tarot. And Scarlett does the tarot portion, and Dan does the astrology, and you can get a reading from either one of them, or whatever. So I got like a 30-minute reading from Dan for like $30, and he it's got some. You put in what time you're available or something like that, and like what you're wanting to know, or if you just want like a basic birth chart, and then he'll like contact you back and try to set up a time. Well, keep in mind whenever you set this up that he is in Chicago, which is Central Time, and I was in Eastern Time, so I got the time screwed up because I was thinking 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock Central would be 12 o'clock Eastern, but it's actually 2 o'clock Eastern. So anyway, he realized that I got mixed up, and he went ahead and called me and did it early, but because of that, I didn't get it recorded like I really wanted it. So also, I would just say if you're going to get it done, any kind of reading, then it's best to like record it yourself. That way you got a copy of it or whatnot. I mean, you probably want to let them know that you're going to record it, but that way you have it yourself and you don't have to worry about somebody else not doing it or whatever, or something happening like what happened with me. But anyway, he called me and basically he was like, do you want me to just start going off down through the line about stuff and just try to get through as much as possible, get the most bang for your buck, or do you want to ask some questions or whatever? So I already knew a little bit about some astrology stuff, so I told him to just start rattling stuff off. And I took a few notes, but it wasn't the best notes, and like I said, I wish I had been able to record it. I tried to record it on my phone, but it didn't really work, so I don't know why it didn't work, but anyway. So my reading was like I'm a Aquarius Sun, Libra Moon, and Cancer Rising. And anyway, he told me those things, some details about those, and the air condition kicked on like I knew it would. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. Hopefully you can hear me. He kind of went through like the houses, what each house means something. It's like an area of your life. Like the first house is Aries. It's about your personality. The second house is Taurus. It's about your material stuff, your assets, your money, that kind of thing. And just going around, you can look up the houses online, and you can get a picture or a description of what the houses mean. And it's kind of like they're assigned a astrological sign like Aries, Taurus, whatever, but that doesn't mean that the sign is in that place at that time. It's like if it is, then it would be like a double whammy, I guess you could say. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but let's see what else. Then he went through those, and then he started talking a little bit about some of my aspects, like the relationships between some of the planets, like the squares and trines, I think it was, or what was it he said? Like I had some conjunctions and some squares, and he didn't really get too far into that before my 30 minutes was up. So I'm probably going to try to print out my astrology chart and go through each thing individually myself and see what I kind of come up with, and then possibly do another reading with him again. I don't know, but it was really interesting. a lot of the stuff he said was like dead on. I mean, he just kept rattling stuff off, and it was like dead on the way I am. So, I mean, he was like, he talked a little bit about like kind of I would be good in relationships, or I could possibly find a good relationship because I'm like a no bullshit kind of person. But that's dependent on who you deal with. But I found somebody that I can work with, so I'm good in that area. I didn't really have a lot of questions about relationships because I don't really have any drama in that aspect. So, or anything I'm concerned about or looking for anybody. So I know somebody was asking about relationships, if he could answer stuff like that. And I mean, um, I'm sure he can answer relationship type stuff. I'm not sure how far he can go with it. And then I know he can also like kind of look up when your planetary returns are. They're kind of a big deal or something. Like your Saturn return, usually it's like in your 20s or something, and it's kind of just a real restrictive kind of force. Like it's probably when like the shit hits the fan kind of deal. I don't know. I mean, I went through my really shitty time when I was about 25 to 30, so I don't know if that coincided with my Saturn return or not. But anyway, I don't necessarily know that astrology is the be all end all for everything. I think I mean, the stuff he was saying was definitely on point with the way I am, so I do think it matters to some degree, or can just be used as a cipher to see kind of how people are. But I don't think it's like set in stone by any means. I mean, you could possibly work on some of the things that are typical to you, and you don't have those things anymore. You don't deal with those things anymore. So anyway, I'm gonna quit talking now because my dog is up walking around and making weird noises too, along with the air conditioner. So anyway, if you got any more questions, let me know.